Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to go over the course introduction. So for today's agenda is fairly straightforward. We're going to go over the administrating information by covering the major assignments and what those major assignments consist of and what would be the expectation. Well, overall, there are four important assignments for this course: class participation, individual project, strategy and analysis project, its written report, and the presentation of such strategy analysis project. Each of these assignments consists of 25% of of your final grades. And let's go over each of these in greater detail. Before we do that, this slide provide grading information. This is fairly standard for Stony Brook courses. So if you are able to get 94% to 100% in the final score, you will receive an A. 90 to 93%, you will receive an A minus, etc. Right? So oftentimes what I would do is if you are at the borderline case, let's say between 92.5 to 93.5, what I usually would do is that if you actively participate in the course, I actually would boost you up to the higher letter grades. So just as a way to provide more incentives to encourage people to participate in this course, right? However, if you never show up, never really participate actively in those discussions, I won't be doing that great change, right? So that's something you need to be aware of before this course. In terms of class participation, not only I expect you to watch lectures and attend lectures and complete the reading and the assignments by the due date, I also want you to actively participate in those online discussions. And sometimes we may have class meetings set up beforehand. If for those cases, I also would like you to actively participate as well, because oftentimes, by actively participating in those activities, you will be able not only get to know each other, but also will be able to actually transfer the knowledge you acquire from those lectures into actual skill set, right? So that's why it's actively participate in class or online setting will be very important. At the end of the semester, I will also ask you to review team members' contribution to those group project as well, because you can imagine that in the difficulty for those group assignments is to ensure that everyone participate and contribute significantly to these projects. So by asking you to review other members' contributions, this will serve as a mechanism for to ensure that everyone will actively contribute, right? So those are important takeaway if you want to score high in class participations. In terms of individual projects, what I will ask you to is to do 5 to 10 minutes presentations analyzing a real world business case of your choosing. And in your analysis, it's important that it is related to the course content provided in the class in the previous week, right? So this give you an opportunity to actually practice what you have learned, whether it's some kind of analytical tool sets, or whether it's some way of organized information. This individual project will allow you to actually have an opportunity to apply what you have learned to real world settings, right? Some of the discussion points can include whether it's a success or failure in the real world settings or innovative suggestions and or some kind of unique solutions that you can derive from using the framework we went over in the previous class, right? So oftentimes, you will be using those toolsets to help you to come up with a more organized, uh, to better organize the information you have collected and to also help you to formulate a recommendation for a particular situation. Again, the topic of your individual presentation will heavily depend on what would be the topic that been discussed in the previous week. For example, if we talk about external analysis in the previous week, then for if you are presenting your individual project, that's exactly what you need to work on. Doing the external analysis for a particular company working in the industry, right? And furthermore, do not for this individual project, do not simply explain the business case. I want you to provide your own opinions, provide your own stance on how you view things. That is, I want you to actually utilize the framework you acquired from the previous class, analyze the situation, and come up with your own opinions, recommendation, or even solutions. So basically, I want you to imagine how you will analyze the case if you were the CEO, CIO, chief level officers, right? So overall, you'll be graded on effort, thoughtfulness, ingenuity, and clarity of your presentation. And in terms of group projects, so the first two assignments are based on individual efforts, and the second two assignments, so 50% of your final grades will be based on group projects. So for this project, basically what you would be doing is that your group will conduct a comprehensive strategy analysis of a company that I will assign. I may change my mind on this. I may have you pick organizations if you have a strong interest in a particular industry, because ultimately, it is you who would determine how this course will be beneficial to you to your career, right? But overall, doesn't matter which one you choose or which approach you have decided, you will act as a team of consultant, providing recommendation to to the top management team of the company of your focus. The project will be emphasized on the importance of application of the various concepts we want analytical toolset and framework we cover in this course in order to analyze the strategic options of the that a particular firm may have. This is often done through by a careful evaluation of both internal and external environments. After you analyze those internal and external environmental forces, then you will need to figure out what are some potential strategy options you may have. And then among these options, you ultimately want to recommend a particular course of action for a firm to either attenuate potential threats or capture emerging opportunities. Right? Ultimately, you want to maximize the firm's long-term performance. And in the syllabus, if you look at Appendix A, we actually include a very detailed discussion on what various components of this written report can consist of. You probably don't have time to cover everything, but let this in Appendix A provide you a very comprehensive items that you can choose to cover, right? So that's a written report part. There's also the corresponding final presentation, right? Because strategy management is more than just having a great ideas. Ultimately, it's about how you can present your case and convince others to believe that the strategy option you formulated is the best one to focus on, right? So as a result, how you present yourself and your ideas is very important to your success. In this spirit, I encourage you to think creatively and figure out how to engage others in your presentations. Uh, so that really means that you really want to organize your presentation in a consistent, coherent, and logical manners. Each team will have around up to 10 minutes to present your final projects. And if you look at the end of the course syllabus, you also find team presentation evaluation form, right? So all these information are available in the course syllabus. Please do take a careful look at those at the course syllabus, and you'll be able to find all these information there. And also, given that 50% of your final grade will be determined by group assignment scores, that really means that we really need to work hard and stay on top of things for these group assignments. Don't wait for others to push things forward. You really need to take a more active role, and in order to uh, ensure the success of these group assignments, right? Yeah, the following suggestion I would recommend when it comes to teamwork. It's always important to have in mind the efficiencies and effectiveness of group work. All right. Oftentimes, when individual work in group settings, you need to be able to understand people's strength and weakness. Right. So, because let's face it, it's very unproductive for everyone to do everything. Right. Everyone, people, your team member are likely to have different strength and weakness. So get to know them, understand how what people are good at, and if you choose to divide the group assignment tasks into smaller pieces, make sure that people who have been assigned to a particular task actually have the capability to design and execute the corresponding components, right? Another important uh, tips I have is to ensure that you want to set aside a regular meeting time every week. All right. Do not simply wait toward the end of the semester then work on this project, because that will never work. Right. If you take that approach, usually there will be only one or two individuals in the team setting working hard on those, while others may not, may be slacking. That's why it's important to set aside a regular time to make sure you meet regularly, and also plan things ahead to prevent uh, people from taking advantage of others' hard work. It also means it would be helpful to set a working protocol as soon as possible. So basically, you want to figure out how you collectively want to approach this. Some team may choose to have a detailed discussion on every single components of the assignments, while others may take a more divide and conquer approach, basically assign each team member a different task. And once people have tackled these tasks individually, then they will bring together the groups, the solutions, and reviewing together and figure out what change may be needed. Doesn't matter which protocol you choose, make sure you pick one and see if it's working well for your group. If it's not too late to change it afterward. And finally, use technology, right? There are so many tools that you can utilize to facilitate such teamwork assignments. Now we have various messaging tool sets and different way you can collaborate online. So let's know. So it's really not a good excuse saying that you don't have time to meet or you don't have time to collaborate. With technology, you can solve many of these issues, right? So that's it for this week, for this lecture. And feel free to let me know if you have any question, right? Thanks so much.